Stop changing your workout program so often if you want to maximize results. I'm going to give you 2 reasons why that's the case, and then I'm going to talk about when you should change your workout program to get the best results. So first, we need to understand neurological versus muscular adaptation. Second, you need to understand that the body responds to tension. And then you need to understand when to change your workout program. So first, let's talk about neurological versus muscular adaptation to strength training. We're gonna have to put on our nerd or science hat here for a second, but stick with me to the end. It's going to be helpful and it's very much relevant to when you should change your workouts. So strength is the ability of your nervous system, which is the brain, spinal cord, the nerves that go out from the spine and into the muscles that tell the muscles to fire. So strength is the ability of the nervous system to recruit the muscles that you have for a given movement, to move a weight or whatever you're trying to do. So there are 2 types of adaptations that occur from strength training. Number 1 is neurological, number 2 is muscular. So neurological means you get better at the skill of lifting weights. You get more efficient at the movement. I equate it to riding a bike. It's like learning the skill of riding a bike. You go faster on the bike not because you get stronger, but because your body gets more efficient at doing the movement. It's the same thing with strength training. In the beginning especially, the body gets better at lifting weights, a movement or an activity that the body was previously not efficient at. The body also neurologically adapts by getting better at recruiting its own muscle mass. So something that I notice with beginners is they're just not great at recruiting the muscles that they have. Sure, their muscles are going to get bigger and stronger, and that's muscular adaptation. When you have a bigger muscle, all things being equal, that will be a stronger muscle, right? You give the body, the nervous system, more to recruit, therefore you can exert more force with a bigger muscle. But you also adapt neurologically where the body gets more efficient at recruiting the muscle it already has, okay? So when you first start strength training, these 2 adaptations happen at the same time. The body responds and improves neurologically and muscularly, which is why beginners gain strength at a rate faster than anybody else, because they are both adapting by laying down or by building larger muscle. They're also getting better at the movements themselves. They're neurologically adapting. Now, eventually, you get really, really good at lifting. You get efficient at the movements. And at that point, the only way that you adapt is by muscular adaptation, by growing the muscle. And that's what we want. That's where we reap the long-term benefits of strength training. When you carry more muscle mass, you're stronger. There are health benefits. You obviously have more muscle. You're more toned and defined, better metabolism. All the things that we're after, we want to build muscle. And so here's the problem when you change your workouts every week, or even every 2 to 3 weeks, every month even. When you first change to a new exercise, you'll notice that you are able to do more reps, more weight, just about every single week those first few weeks. And that's because you think, oh, I must be getting a lot of good progress. It's not necessarily the case. It's because you've given the body a new movement and now it has to get efficient again, so it adapts neurologically. And the thing is, again, both neurological and muscular adaptations will happen at the same time. However, given the choice, the body preferentially will adapt neurologically rather than muscularly. Why, you ask? Well, the reason is it is cheaper, less metabolically expensive for the body to adapt neurologically than to lay down more or bigger muscle tissue. So every time you change movements, particularly if you're in your first few years of lifting, then you're kind of spinning your wheels. I'm not going to say you won't get any progress from that, but you're shooting yourself in the foot a little bit. You're not getting the best results that you could get because you're forcing the body to adapt neurologically every week or every few weeks. Every time you change movements, your body has to adapt neurologically first to that new movement. And then once it gets pretty efficient at that movement, you'll find that your strength gains slow down. But at that point, the only reason that you're getting stronger is because you're laying down new muscle tissue. And that's what we want. You're growing the muscle. All right. That's why this idea of shocking the muscle, trying to keep it guessing, confusing the muscle, all that stuff is actually slowing your progress down. Not only is it not speeding it up, it's actually slowing your progress down. So it's important that you stick with a program for a good length of time. We'll talk about how long in just a second. Now, the second point is, what does the body respond to? If it doesn't need to be shocked, if it doesn't need to be, things don't constantly need to be changed, then what does the body respond to? The body or muscles rather. What does the muscle respond to? The muscle responds to tension. So tension, right? So when you get to the last 4 to 5 reps in a set before hitting failure, your body is maximally recruiting the muscles for that movement. There's maximum tension on those muscle fibers. And when you get to the last 4 to 5 reps before failure, we're maximizing tension, and it's those last 4 to 5 reps that are sending the signal to the body to adapt. And so if we're using good form in a full range of motion and taking our sets close to, you don't have to go all the way, but we're taking our sets close to failure, then our body is going to adapt. It's going to build muscle. It's going to get stronger. So you don't need to shock the body. You don't need to mix things up, keep the body guessing, or confuse the muscle. The muscle's not sitting there like, oh, we did this exercise 2 weeks in a row, 4 weeks in a row, 6 weeks in a row. I'm on to you now. Aha, I caught you, and now I'm not going to change. That's not how it works. If you are hitting those reps right before failure, you're sending the signal to the body to adapt, to change. And so it's actually better to do that on a movement that you're already efficient with, because now the only way your body can adapt is not neurological. You've taken that away because you've already gotten all the neurological adaptations that you're going to get, and the only way to improve at that point is by growing the muscle, and that's what we're after. Now, how often should you change your workout programs? Because I'm not advocating for doing a workout program forever. So the simple answer is you change your workout program when it stops working. In other words, as long as you're getting results from your current plan, don't change it. From like a technical getting results standpoint, you should not change your workout program if you're getting results, period. Now, we have to factor in the human element here. So we're all humans, and sometimes you're going to be like, all right, I've been on this program for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and I'm starting to dread the workouts. I just want some variety. Perfect. Totally fine. That is an acceptable reason to change your workouts, because you do want to keep your workouts engaging enough that you're going to want to keep coming back and doing them. You want to enjoy them enough, hopefully a lot, but you want to enjoy your workouts enough that you're not dreading them. If you're dreading them, you're probably going to quit at some point, and that's really bad. Quitting is the number one thing that's going to hurt your progress. So you want to strike the balance, especially if you're somebody who loves variety. You want to strike the balance between consistently executing a program and switching it up often enough that you get a new stimulus, not even for your muscles, but for your mind, will, and emotions, so that you want to keep showing up and doing those workouts. So you want to strike the balance between those two. My advice is, though, if you've been stalled in the gym and you're somebody who changes your workouts all the time, my advice is stick with a program longer than you're typically comfortable with. Push yourself a little bit, grow a little bit in this area. All right? Because to you, I would challenge you and just say, are you at the gym to be entertained, or are you at the gym for results? So at a minimum, to give you hard numbers, at a minimum, I would recommend doing a program for 6 weeks. Ideally, 8, 10, even 12 weeks tends to be better most of the time. But at a bare minimum, give a program at least 6 weeks. To those of you who are guilty changing your program, you tend to do it a lot, like workout to workout. Now, obviously, you're going to have different workouts, 2, 3, 4 different workouts in a program that you kind of rotate between. That's totally fine. That's not what I'm talking about here. You should have that variety within the program. But week after week, you should be executing on basically the same thing, focusing on, good form, full range of motion, taking close to failure, 2 to 3 sets per muscle, done twice a week. That's the recipe for success for the vast majority of you guys. So to wrap it all up, all right, we have to understand the difference between neurological and muscular adaptations, and we want to squeeze out all the neurological adaptations first so that the body has no choice but to adapt by growing the muscle. Number 2, remember, the body doesn't need to be shocked. The muscles don't need to be shocked. The muscles just respond to tension, which is why we want to get those last 4 to 5 reps before failure. And then my bottom line advice, run a program at a bare minimum for 6 weeks, but ideally, as long as it's getting you results, keep going. And the moment that you stall, then you can stop, move to a new program, and start the process all over again.